maybe not bad, but certainly got a long way to go. Okay. And then this one is kind of a, well, not kind of, this one is cropping system with cover crops, so no disturbance. So out of the 5 soil health principles, you know, armor is always number 1. Disturbance to me is minimizing disturbance is number 2. Plant diversity is number 3. Continual live plant, like this perennial, or adding a cover crop, live plant, number 4, and then the livestock integration is number 5. Okay. So you have them on your USB and on the handout too. They were intended to be starting points. Gardening, cropland, whatever, they're your starting points. Okay. The more of them you put into place, the better it functions. But 2 is better than 1, and 3 is better than 2, and 4 is better than 3. But they're intended to work together as a system. Okay. So, Darrell, do you need to run a little water now?
Yeah, I think we do.
Or you did already?
Yeah, but, yeah, I did that.
No, probably not. So it's like a shower head, and then you get it turning. And then we got a little rain gauge there, so we'll get some, we'll put on 3/4 inch or somewhere in there, okay? And then we'll give us a little water. Getting close, getting close. Yeah, looking pretty good, bro. Looking pretty good, okay? Then one reason it has the white background is one thing you don't want, I don't care if it's in the garden or whatever cropland, is soil splash. So what happens when you have bare soils and it rains, you're going to get some soil splash. And then later, you're going to be more concerned about leaf disease and that type of thing. Okay? So you can tell by that when you look at the white background behind those 5 examples. One of them is probably going to have a lot more soil splash than some of the others. Okay? And so we already talked about how does water get into the soil, right? So it's looking for a pore space. And so if it has the pore spaces, it starts to get into the water. Okay?
A tillage system looks like a rototiller is good.
I did rototiller. I think I rototilled it
Most
twice.
people, I'm sure, are going to go home and stop rototilling right away.
I think not only will they do that, they will sell their rototiller.
I can't even see it on their face, but I can see it in their eyes. There's all that mass.
Yeah. So it doesn't take so long, and you start to see some water infiltrate underneath, and it doesn't take so long, you start to see some water run out. And they start to slowly separate. And most of them are going to do some of each. And then it might also store some water in the soil. Okay? Like the one that was there, you know, that one's probably going to hold a bit of water because it was just tilled. It will have some intake into it. But we'll look at that as we give it a little more water. So right now we're getting close to a 1/2 inch. So we'll put a little bit more water on it. But we're taking that energy out of that water too. When that water hits the bare soil, it wants to slake those pores shut. Okay, so you saw the slake demonstration. So this will microscopically slake on the soil surface. And then I'm going to be asking you which one you would drink water out of on the infiltration. Or the runoff, either one. But, so you want to pick one out. If you had to, which one would you consider, which one would you take if you had to? Okay. I think we're just going over half now. Yeah, probably this grazing system. Probably infiltrated the most water. So, does it look like it might meet a lot of the soil health principles? Continual live plant, plant diversity, 21 species, Yeah, so it infiltrated quite a bit of water. Now, if you had to drink one, would this be the one you would kind of reluctantly finally take first? Probably, yeah, because it's probably the cleanest overall. And how did it do on runoff? Not too much. We don't want runoff. Okay. We want it in the profile, and we want the water to grow the plant and transpire through the plant. Okay. So which one probably was second on runoff?
Cover crops.
Cover crop, way over on the far right, next to zero. Okay. Then after that, which one probably infiltrated the most water?
No-till.
No-till with no cover crops. And then we probably went to, no grazing system, okay? And then we probably went to, tillage system, no covers, okay? So, this was us, in Burley County in the 1980s, and they built a lot of waterways, because our water ran across the surface and never went into the soil. And if we got an inch of rain, we didn't get an inch of rain in the profile, we got something less. And the wetlands and the ponds were all full. Everyone's complaining about water in the wetlands, because the wetlands got so big. Well, we needed to change our management so the water went in, changed everything. Okay. So now if we look at, the runoff, which one probably had the most runoff? Would we be kind of close to tie between no grazing system and no cover crops?
Yeah.
Those two probably had the most runoff? I think so. Okay. After that, we probably went here for runoff. And the least amount of runoff, Darrell, I had a tablespoon.
I got a little more than
You
that.
got a little bit more than a tablespoon. Okay. So let's take these shields off. And we can take that center pan out. Go ahead, take that center out. It's easier to do that.
We brought a tipper out over here.
So we can come on over this way, folks.
Wow.
And that's our problem in production agriculture.
Oh.
Now you understand, I couldn't get the water in the profile, or it ended up building this waterway because it had all this water erosion. Okay? And that's the way our soils look. In that maybe it's a 200-acre area draining this area that we put the waterway in. Okay? Well, if we could have just got the water to go in, there wouldn't have been any water erosion. There wouldn't have been this big wetland full of water. And that would have been because it would all been out over that 200-acre drainage area in the profile.
And it dries fast. That would dry.
Yeah.
In the wind.
Yeah.
It would turn into just a hard crust.
Yeah. And if we went and put a second inch on, this would run off virtually everything in the second inch. Because now you're microscopically slate shut.
Yeah, so it's that hard
Game
crust
over.
just makes it.
Yeah. Game over. Exactly.
Huh.
But until you see the pan flip, it doesn't give you the true picture, you know. And it was very, well, it still is, if you grab it, it's just real loose. So why did the water just run through it? Well, you already took all the pressure. And then they slate shut. That's why we showed you how to run slate today. Okay? So that you don't have to do that. You don't have to garden or farm like that. So the evils of the rototiller, I just thought I'd mention it one more time.
Just to reiterate.
We'll come up and pick up the trailer.